Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to Crown Stag voiceover. My name is Neil Glasgow. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about your rights as a voiceover artist. Particularly, I'm talking about Fiverr in this case, but it's quite broad spectrum, so one lesson leads into another. So, with all of that in mind, let's get into it. So, it's been couple of weeks now, maybe 3 weeks since I've put out my last video. Apologies for that. It's just been very busy on my end, which, good problems. I'm always happy to be busy. But in that busyness, something has come up. I'm noticing quite a weird and worrying trend over the last few weeks, particularly, as I say, using Fiverr. Now, let me give you a couple of examples. I've had offers come through, or rather bookings come through. These are normally from people who have not engaged with me first. They're saying things along the lines of, they want the voiceover recorded, but they're not paying for commercial rights, they're not paying for broadcast rights, and in some cases they're not actually even putting in the correct word count for this. Now, what you need to know is that every single one of these attempts to book me, and I do say attempts because I didn't fulfill the booking, and Fiverr, to their credit, did support me in not fulfilling the bookings, is these people have been saying something to the effect of, I'm paying for your voice, so I own your voice. I'm paying for you for this project, so I can use that any way that I like. And that's just not the case. And this comes up whether you're working on Fiverr or Upwork or even just working directly with a client. If you are recording something that is going to be used, say, internally, it's not going to be used online, it's not going to be used for marketing purposes, for example, you probably don't need to worry about commercial rights. If they're going to use it for something that generates funds for them in any regard, whether it's a YouTube advert, whether it's part of their sales pitch, whatever it might be, you might want to engage in commercial buyouts. Then there's a difference between a commercial buyout and a full broadcast buyout, and I'll come to that in a second. But your commercial buyout essentially says, okay, for X fee, whatever you choose it to be, that client can then use your voice for the purpose that they have paid for it. So they couldn't buy commercial rights and then stick it on TV, for example. And I realise that commercial rights sounds a little bit odd, considering it's commercial, it's not an advert. That's not what we're talking about. This is commerce rights, essentially. So it's very important that you be aware of what, you should be charging for that, what your rights are, and your ability to actually say no, okay? So with all of these people that have contacted me, they're saying, as I say, to the effect of, well, I'm booking, I'm paying, I get to do whatever I please. And when I've gone back to them and say, well, actually, based on what you've told me, because I always ask, and please always ask, what is the context that you're going to be using my voice on? Find that out before you accept any booking, because what you might find, and what has happened to me in the past, is people engage me for, say, a radio advert. It's only going to play on one station, Neil, and it's going to play for 3 weeks. And actually what you find out is it played on 6 stations for 8 weeks. There's a massive disparity there in what you should be getting paid. Now, if you're engaging in a full broadcast rights, what that is if it's going on the internet, if it's going on radio, or if it's going on TV. Sorry, I'm counting my fingers here and you can't see. You need to be aware of where this stuff is going. Even if someone's like, oh, do you know what, I'm just using it for my student project, perhaps. That comes up quite a lot on Fiverr. I'm just using it for this one purpose, it's not going to go anywhere. That's fine, you can agree to that, but also you need to be able to monitor and make sure that it isn't used in any other way. And a lot of people who try to book me are for, say, final projects for game design, which tends to go on to maybe do a little bit more. Or, I can't pay you now, but I'll pay you down the line when it gets in there. I wouldn't get involved in those types of projects. So I just wanted to highlight as a very quick video for you, because I realise I haven't got one out in a little while. You are very much within your rights to say no. If you're using Fiverr and someone books you and then you decline or cancel that order, what's going to happen to you is it will go negatively against you. this is where Fiverr, and I'll give them the credit where it's due, I contacted the customer service. I said, look, you can please review the email exchange. They've booked me without consulting me first. They're not doing the right commercial rights, full buyout rights, or word count. I'd like that negative removed. And they have removed that. So they are on your side in that context. Don't go the other way and agree to something and then pull out, because you'll probably not have a leg to stand on. But from a professional booking platform, i.e. someone's coming to you not off of Fiverr, Upwork or Voices, this is someone who's going to you directly for your work, please always make sure what the intention of the use is. Because if you don't get that right and you don't figure out what a reasonable buyout is, then you're not going to get that booking. And what I would say is a reasonable buyout. So for me, for example, I would charge £300 for my basic studio fee, so just the record. Short term, so maybe say for 3 months, I might charge them another £300. I might charge them £600. If I'm going for a full buyout, do whatever you like with it, it's yours in perpetuity, I tend to cap that at anywhere between £1,200 and £2,000. Depends on the project, depends how it's going to get used, but that encapsulates the buyout as well as the recording. And actually, that's a fairly reasonable cost, depending on the client that you're working with, for them to use that copy of your voice in any way that they deem fit. So just have that in mind, and if you are experiencing a similar thing on Freelancer or Fiverr or Upwork or any of these other sites where people are saying to you that no, they own what you are recording because they paid for the recording, that's not the case. Be aware of some of these underhanded market tricks, especially when you're getting into the industry now, and be aware of what you can and should charge. You don't want to price yourself out the market, but you do want to make sure you get paid. Okay, that's it. Very short video for this week. I will try and get these out faster and more consistent, but yeah, things are just very busy at the moment. If you like the video, please do give it a like and subscribe. And if you've enjoyed any content on this channel, personal ask from me to you, we get about 10,000 viewers per month on the channel, which I'm really thankful for. But we get a fraction of that actually subscribing. So if this has been helpful, or any of my videos have been helpful, a subscription and hitting that notification bell genuinely does help us out and feeds that YouTube beast. Remember, you can be a voiceover artist, and I'll see you in the next video.